I have 6 kids because as a child, I was never loved. I'm trying to give my kids the love I never had. I needed my kids, if that makes sense. I needed them.
She didn't need 6 going on 7 children. What she needed was therapy.
Y'all do not know nothing about that woman who is 26 with 6 kids and 1 on the way.
Yes, we do. We know she's 26 with 6 kids and 1 on the way. What else do we need to know? I'm confused. We can sum up her entire life as it stands with that information alone. A modern 26-year-old can barely take care of another 26-year-old, let alone 6 children. She don't even got a farm. The only reason people were having 6 kids back then was because they were breeding their workers into existence. The land needed to be tilled. The potatoes needed to be picked. The coyotes had to be dealt with. It was just too much for 2 people, so they just bred their workers. They bred the farmhands into existence. In 2025, you're just creating babies to struggle in an apartment for no reason. He then goes on to say, oh, just because they're poor doesn't mean they're being neglected. Just off the strength that 6 of them exist, I promise you, they're being neglected in some form or fashion. And poverty makes it 10 times worse. He then went on to say, oh, rich people neglect their kids as well. So, how is that an argument?
Recently, I made a video about child-free women and mothers. And I think that I have to make another video simply because after I made that video, well, after I did that live, I got on TikTok and lo and behold, there is a woman on TikTok that is 26 years old with 6 kids and 1 on the way. So she's going to have 7 kids very soon. And clearly it's a very bad situation, and as you can imagine, they're basically living in poverty. What I want to talk about today is something more deep. I want to talk about motherhood, but I'm going to have a different approach from everyone else, all right? I'm not a mother, but what I do understand is the universal laws. And there is one universal law that is called the law of sacrifice. Now, before you decide to be a mother, you must understand this universal law. And I'm telling you, ladies, please look into these laws. This is a topic that I would usually cover over on my Patreon. And if you haven't signed up to my Patreon yet, please sign up today. The link is in the description. You can sign up for as low as $5. That's the basic tier. And you're still going to get a lot. Also on Thursday, I'm going to be having a live Zoom meeting on Patreon. And I'm going to be talking about navigating hypergamy in the modern world, because there's a lot of bad advice out there, and there are people still to this day telling women that they shouldn't prioritize their career if they want to take hypergamy seriously. And we have to talk about it. We have to address that, because I don't want none of y'all quitting your job and giving up your career just in the hopes of bagging a wealthy man or finding a provider or whatever you want to call it, okay? So come to that meeting. It's going to be on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would love to see you all there. And yeah, let's get into this topic. So as I was saying, if you learn to apply the universal laws to your life is going to be much easier. Everything is going to make sense. Everything is going to start making sense. Everything is going to start becoming easier. All right. So what is the universal law of sacrifice? The universal law of sacrifice is basically a principle that is stating that in order for you to get something of greater value, you must sacrifice something of lesser value. So once you understand that, then maybe I can get you to understand how huge of a sacrifice it is for a woman to become a mother, especially in this day and age. What are the core aspects of the universal law of sacrifice? Well, number 1 is letting go to grow. I don't want to go too deep into the course because I want to get to the point. This should be a Patreon topic, but I'm going to try to see if I can get this done in under 20 minutes. Also, energy exchange. That's another core of the universal law of sacrifice. Energy exchange. The universe operates on the principle of balance, meaning that to receive something, you have to give something. And people that are out here trying to get something for nothing, or trying to get something of greater value with very little sacrifice or investment as possible, are people that are not observing these laws. And this is why we have a lot of issues with men, because a lot of men do not observe these laws whatsoever. Then they wonder why they wonder why their life is in shambles. They wonder why things are not working out. They wonder why, you know, they up in their mama's basement being bitter and calling women gold diggers and saying that we hit the wall. Then we have delayed gratification, because true sacrifice often involves giving up things of pleasure. Another one is alignment with purpose, and then another one is spiritual transformation. So those are the core aspects of the universal law of sacrifice. And you are going to observe these laws in action in your daily life. For example, fitness, giving up delicious, high sugar foods for a healthier lifestyle, a better body. You know, you can't get something unless you are willing to sacrifice something for it. This is not how the universe works. Unfortunately, this is how it has always been, and it will always be like this. There is never going to be a time in life where we're going to get something of value for nothing. So at this point, I want to get into how and why becoming a mother, choosing to become a mother, is a huge sacrifice. Okay, so why would a woman choose to be a mother? A woman chooses to be a mother simply because of the perceived value in motherhood, legacy, love, and fulfillment. Because she thinks that gaining those things, legacy, love, fulfillment, etc., far outweighs it. She believes it far outweighs the sacrifice involved. That makes sense, right? What are you sacrificing as a woman to become a mother? You are sacrificing freedom, financial freedom. You're sacrificing beauty. You're sacrificing your health, your chances of wealth. A lot of things you are sacrificing, that good body, youth, everything, okay? I do not know why women don't see this as a huge sacrifice, but if you tell men that in order for them to be a father, they will have to give up this, give up that, their life is going to change or whatnot, most men are not going to do it. Most men are going to opt out of fatherhood. The reason why it's so easy for a man to be a father is because it doesn't take a lot of sacrifice. It really doesn't. A lot of these women that are out here having a bunch of kids, they don't realize what they're doing. They don't realize what they're sacrificing, like they really don't. And the reason for that is because a lot of women have been conditioned to believe that, you know, motherhood is going to bring all the spiritual fulfillment and etc. And that's the only way you're going to be a mother, when in reality it's not, because we all know that there are a lot of bad mothers out there. Some mothers, they can't handle the motherhood because it's very hard, it's so difficult. So in reality, most women choose to become a mother for many reasons, and most of them do not know what they are sacrificing, okay? Women choose to have children because of fear. They are afraid of growing old. They are afraid of not being seen as a woman. They have been socially conditioned to believe that it is their duty to become a mother, when in reality not everyone was meant to be parents. A lot of people would give anything for freedom. Some people just don't value their freedom. A lot of people are doing things that is taking up their time. The only reason why they're doing it is because they feel like they have to. Like, for example, do you have to go to that 9 to 5? Okay, so what do you value more? Do you value that paycheck, or do you value your freedom? Freedom is and a peace of mind is valuable, and I decided that I wanted to have my freedom, my full autonomy, and my peace of mind. And that was one of the reasons why I choose not to have children, because I feel like the sacrifice was way too much for me, and I don't feel like it would have been worth it. Also, I always knew that I was destined for something more than just motherhood. Now I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with motherhood, because you know, there are if we go back before agriculture, because remember in a previous video I said that the reason why patriarchy came about was because of agriculture, and women were not, before agriculture, women were not having this many kids. As a matter of fact, most men did not get the opportunity to procreate anyways. So women were very, very selective in who they choose, and some of them choose not to have children, because I believe that there was definitely a matriarchal society at some point. After agriculture, and we decided to switch to matriarchy, or switch from an egalitarian lifestyle to patriarchy, now it was required of women to have children because they needed more hands on the farm. People are having a bunch of kids out there like they have a farm, because I saw someone make a video about that and I thought it was funny. You don't have a farm. Most of us are not working in agriculture. A lot of us are not working in factories. We don't have free labor like slavery anymore, because people do have to pay for labor now. There is no reason for people to be having that many children, especially in this day and age and in this economy. Sacrificing your freedom and your opportunities and your youth and your education and everything to become a mother should not be taken lightly at all. And because of patriarchy, a lot of women feel pressure to have children because it is expected by the patriarchy. The patriarchy expect women to keep popping out babies. That's the only way the patriarchy will survive anyways. That's the only way that you can get patriarchy to really work. And the reason why a lot of women choose not to have children is because they understand the sacrifice. They understand it's a huge sacrifice, and they do value freedom, education, career, travel, etc. over becoming a mother. And some women just don't have that biological drive. I mean, we are okay with people being gay. Okay, we like that's the way they were born, and you know, everyone is okay with that. But for some reason, society is not okay with some women choosing not to have children. This is something that it might take society a long time to get behind, because I just feel like, you know, people expect so much from women. Women are always expected to make huge sacrifices, and sometimes becoming a mother, in spite of making such a huge sacrifice, sometimes it doesn't pay off. It doesn't pay off because sometimes a lot of women do lose everything. Most women were forced into making this sacrifice. There used to be a time where women used to opt out of motherhood and it was okay. Nobody was mad at them. Nobody was saying that they were infertile and calling them names and telling them that they're selfish. Only some women were selected to have children. Now, the thing is, ladies, forced sacrifice, okay, being forced into motherhood, like maybe let's say you get pregnant and you get guilt into having the baby, or someone tricked you and told you that, you know, yes, I'm going to be there for you and I'm going to help you take care of the kids, and then they did not hold up their end of the bargain or whatnot. That is not a great place to be in, and that is not a true sacrifice, because you did not really get what you thought you were going to get when you make that sacrifice. All right, it's exploitation. That's basically what it is. The women that I'm talking about are the women that are using their free will, popping out these babies like if it's nothing. And I just want people to know that there is something called a universal law of sacrifice, and people have to understand what they're really sacrificing. Because if Oprah decided that she wanted to be a mother, there would be no Oprah. Let's think about that. There are a lot of things that you cannot do simply because you're a mother. All right? I'm not saying that you cannot achieve your goals or your dreams or whatnot, but having children is a huge sacrifice, and sometimes you have to sacrifice those things. You have to sacrifice your dreams and your goals or whatnot. And sometimes I really do believe that some people don't have dreams and they don't have goals, which is why they're okay having these children. The law of sacrifice is real, and people have to understand what they are truly sacrificing, because I believe that if women really understand the gravity of what they're doing when they decide to have children, they will think twice, because I really do believe some people are not thinking. I feel like some people are like, oops, I'm pregnant. That is crazy. So before you choose to become a mother, ask yourself if the sacrifice is worth it. Know exactly what you are sacrificing. Think about the things that you want to do in life and ask yourself, is having children going to hinder me achieving those goals or whatnot? Some people really have to sit down and think about what they want in life and stop waiting for life to happen to you. A lot of people are allowing life to happen to them when you are the one that is supposed to be in control of your life and creating your own reality. Motherhood is a huge sacrifice, it's a huge responsibility, and people act like if it's just sports or something, and I don't understand. And that's one of the reasons why I chose not to be a mother, because I was not willing to make that sacrifice. There are some things that I'm not willing to do. For example, if you want to be healthy, you can't be a smoker. If you want healthy lungs, you have to sacrifice smoking. I used to be a smoker in my 20s, and I quit 12 years ago, and I will never go back, because I wanted to be healthy and I wanted to have a healthy lungs. So no matter how much I enjoyed smoking, I had to sacrifice that and I had to quit. So we need to start applying the universal laws to our life. That will help you make better decisions. Too many people make bad decisions because some people are just not good at making decisions, or some people just don't care. But at some point in your life, you have to grow up and you have to decide that, you know what, maybe this is not the right choice, and maybe this is a poor decision, and maybe this is not a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. So anyways, I'm sorry I couldn't be more in-depth, and I couldn't talk about this longer because I'm very pressed for time right now. I do have a storage issue right now, and I'm working on that so that I can make more sit-down videos in front of the camera. That's one of the reasons why most of my videos are faceless, because of my storage issue. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you on Thursday on the Patreon. Bye.